Before we start, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Only 2% are subscribed. At 1,000 subscribers, I'll be posting a special video. The door is ajar and I hear his breath hitch. I stop mid-step, my thumb still on the hinge. A soft thud follows, then a low whisper I should not hear. The sound hits me like a dare. I'm Ava, 27. I carry a lit match cupped from the draft. Warm wax drips on my knuckle and I don't move. Something in me already knows what waits. A laugh breaks from inside, fast and nervous. Fabric rustles, then a mouth covers another mouth. I lean closer until my heartbeat meets the wood. My name is nowhere in that room. Hold still, the voice is female, clipped and sure. The mattress answers with a small complaint. Air leaves my lungs in a slow leak. I push the door half an inch wider. Shadows tilt on the floor and my stomach tightens. A heel taps against the frame and then stillness. My hand shakes and the match gutters. I smell smoke and second thoughts. Downstairs a timer chirps and someone knocks twice. "You coming?" a friend calls, cheerful and loud. Another voice jokes about candles and wishes. I close my eyes and count to 3. The match dies and I pocket the pregnancy test. The plastic edge presses my thigh like a secret blade. I told no one and planned the reveal. Now my plan tastes like metal. I set my palm on the door and hesitate. If I open it, I cannot unsee it. If I walk away, I carry a question forever. Both roads cut and both roads bleed me. A phone vibrates behind the door and someone curses. He laughs too high and whispers something urgent. The laugh morphs into a hush and then silence. I choose the road that burns faster. I push the door until it stops on a shoe. The room flips toward me in startled faces. His belt dangles and her hair sticks to her lip. My name finally appears on his tongue. Wait, he reaches and I step back hard. I raise the test and it catches the light. Her gaze drops to it like it might bite. I keep my voice flat and dangerous. Guests, I tilt my head toward the hall. Cake. The word lands heavy and stupid. He nods like a man on a cliff. She pulls her dress into place without blinking. I pocket the test and scan their eyes. He avoids mine and scrubs his face once. She looks past me to the hallway mirror. My mind files the tremor in her hand. I close the door to a slit and breathe. The hall is empty and the house hums. I hear laughter below and a cork pop. I decide to let the room live for now. I walk toward the stairs and feel the floor sway. Each step rings like a countdown I did not set. My throat tightens around words I may not use. I grip the railing until my knuckles burn. At the bottom, I straighten and test my smile. It holds barely, like tape on a cracked glass. Someone offers a toast I never agreed to. I lift a glass I do not want. My phone lights up with the doctor's reminder. 12 weeks, check in 2 days and bring support. I almost laugh because timing loves sharp edges. I tuck the screen away and brace. He appears at the landing with his hair tamed. No mark, no flush, only careful calm. Our eyes meet for one loaded second. I file the performance for later. Friends circle and push the cake toward me. Make a wish, someone chants and claps once. I stare at the tiny flame too long. Heat kisses my face like a warning. I blow it out and listen to the quiet. Cheers start but lag because I do not cheer. He places a hand on my shoulder and squeezes. My spine turns to wire under his touch. "We have news," slips out before I can stop it. The room leans forward because rooms smell blood. He flinches and covers it with a grin. She steps into view at the edge. I set the knife down and lift my palm. After slices, my voice holds and I do not shake. I look at him and then at her. One of them blinks 3 times. I cut a piece and pass it left. I cut another and pass it right. Each slice buys me seconds to decide. Seconds cost more than I expected. He leans close and whispers at my ear, "Not now." His breath scrapes my skin like grit. I keep cutting and wait for courage. Courage arrives late but brings a match. I slide the knife across the frosting and keep breathing. Plates crowd my wrists and people press closer. He stands to my right and pretends ease. I measure silence like a fuse about to spit. Slice mine small, a chuckle from the back row. I portion it neat and move to the next guest. My hands steady because movement is armor. Every pass buys me one more beat. He grazes my elbow and leans in. "Table talk later." His jaw works like a machine, refusing grit. I arrange forks and refuse to look up. Control tastes bland, but it keeps me standing. She drifts into the circle with a fast smile, hair smoothed, dress straightened, wrist bare where something should glint. I angle my body and block his shoulder. Congrats on another lap around the sun. Her tone is crisp and light. I nod once and hand her a piece. Her gaze falls to my pocket like it hums. Phones lift for photos and the room jostles. I lift the knife again and keep the rhythm. He laughs with friends and avoids my eyes. At her laugh at a joke that never lands. A message buzzes under the counter and she flinches. He checks his screen and swallows hard. 2 glances collide and then both vanish. My spine notes the sequence for later. I set a plate on the island and tap my glass, not a speech, just a quick beat to direct traffic. Gifts later, game first. I hold up 2 fingers like a referee. 2 truths, I hold the room until chatter dies. Winner gets first gift pick. People cheer because competition distracts. He claps once and scans the crowd too fast. A friend points to me and grins. Host starts. I nod and keep my face clean. I hate karaoke. I once fainted during gym. I prefer sour candy. Folks shout guesses for sport. They choose wrong and laugh, harmless. The noise lets me walk behind him. I check his glass and clock his right hand. No ring indent, new detail, new worry. Her turn. I ran a marathon. I hate flying. I broke my wrist last year. She imitates a cast with her fingers. My throat tightens because the gesture is too practiced. I cross to the counter and slide my phone free. Camera on, flash off. My thumb drifts to video. The screen captures his angle and hers together. He meets my glance and stiffens. Bathroom. He tries to move past me. I step left and nod to the hallway. Go, we will hold your place. He pauses on the threshold. She follows 2 beats later and drops her fork. I scoop it before it clatters and pocket it. Metal between fingers sharpens my will. Their footsteps fade toward the back. I hand out final slices and kill the game. Back in 5. People disperse for refills and gossip. I slip into the corridor and lock my shoulders. No speeches, only facts. He stands by the laundry door with fists clenched. Her posture shrinks by an inch when I arrive. I tap my screen to keep recording. My pulse calms because actions have weight. Explain the shoe by the bed. I keep my voice quiet and steady. His eyes cut to her and then back. He shrugs like a gambler with nothing left. She tucks loose hair behind her ear. We made a mistake. Words flat, no decoration. My throat heats, but I hold the line. I do not feed their script. I raise the fork between us and wait. She looks down and recognizes the engraved initials. A tiny exhale slips past her teeth. He shifts his stance like the floor moved. Tonight ends clean. I lower my hand and breathe once. No scenes unless you choose them. He nods quickly and thinks that buys him mercy. I let him think whatever helps. Who else knows? My tone lands heavy and still. He stares past me to the entryway mirror. She watches my pocket like it might burn through. Silence stretches until it almost snaps. Just us, he answers and licks his lips. The word us makes my stomach turn. I swallow hard and decide on the next step. Next step means witnesses. I wave a cousin over with a tilt of my head. He strolls in mid-joke and senses the temperature. We need space, I tell him with a straight face. He plants himself near the doorway. She reaches toward my pocket and stops halfway. Please wait. Her voice flickers but holds. I lift my hand and she freezes. The moment steadies me more than air. From the kitchen, someone starts a birthday chant again. Forced. Loud, nervous rhythm covering suspicion. I end it with a short clap and a smile that hurts. Back to the table, I motion and walk first. He follows with careful steps and eyes on the floor. She trails behind and presses her palm to her wrist. People sense the shift in quiet. I reclaim my spot behind the cake. One more round. I speak like a referee calling overtime. Different rules now. My chest tightens, but I keep my voice clear. Question game, I lift a hand like a judge. Answer wrong and you take a shot. Friends laugh at the dare and gather fast. He glances at the bottles and nods like this helps. I point at him. When did you lose your ring? He blinks and checks his finger. Jim. He swallows and adds Tuesday too quickly. I turn to her and hold the fork visible. What broke your wrist? I tilt my head and wait. Fell on ice. She stares at the floor and adds last winter. I nod and let the room absorb the data. Two answers sit side by side and rot. I do not cut them open yet. I pass a shot to each and watch them drink. Their faces betray more than any story. I place my palm over my pocket and breathe. The test sits there like a countdown. I am not ready to drop it. Not yet. Bigger move first. I lift my phone high and press play. The earlier hallway audio fills the hush. No faces, just breath, just whispers from behind a door that was not locked. People turn to stare like statues. He lunges and I step back fast. My cousin blocks him with one arm and a hard look. She goes still and bites her lip. The crowd waits because hunger has a sound. I stop the clip and set the phone down. Round 3, my voice clicks into place like a seatbelt. Truth or you leave now. He steels himself and opens his mouth. Not to. Night, he stares at the floor and rubs his temple. She nods once and accepts the exit. I let them choose that path. It still leads where I need it. They move toward the door together with small steps. People part like water and whisper into cups. I follow them to the threshold and plant a final line. Keys on the tray, phones on the table. He hesitates and checks my face for softness. He finds none and drops cold metal with a clack. She lays her phone beside it after a long breath. I see the lock screen and something crucial. A notification banner flashes a name I know too well. Not his, not mine, family. The room tilts and then steadies fast. I look up and her eyes tell me everything I feared. The lock screen flashes again and the name pulses. My stomach flips but my face holds. I angle the phone so no one else reads it. She notices and presses her lips together like a seal. Unlock, I set the device on the table between us. He shifts his weight and studies the floor. She looks for him to intervene and finds nothing. My cousin crosses his arms and waits. No, she pulls her hand back an inch. I tap the screen and it wakes like a nudge. Another alert pings and the same name blooms. The room leans closer without moving. I lift my gaze until she meets it. Face unlock. I point to the tiny camera and stay calm. She shakes her head and tries to sidestep. I step with her and the crowd tightens. He clears his throat and finds a smile that fails. Let's breathe. He spreads his hands like he owns the air. I don't blink and he drops them. He understands the rules have changed. My cousin nods once and moves to her side. She jerks away and bumps the tray with a rattle. I steady it and keep my tone flat. No drama, we are past that. She inhales and leans in just enough. The phone scans and opens without a fuss. A hush falls that feels like static. I scroll to messages and see the contact at the top. Maya, the name cuts me sharper than anything else tonight. Threads stack like a deck and timestamps glare. I open the newest and start reading aloud. Hallway clear, he's coming. My voice lands solid and unshaken. He exhales through his nose and looks toward the exit. I keep going because momentum matters now. Door sticks, push harder. A laughing emoji sits under it. Her cheeks flush and she stares at her nails. I flip to earlier and find the map pin. My head stays still while my chest hammers. The pin marks my address from an hour before guests arrived. Beneath it, a line I cannot unknot gently. Use the back staircase, she never checks. He reaches for the phone and I step away. My cousin blocks with his shoulder and a warning glance. People murmur and then hush again. I tap the contact info and find the shared photos. Images load and my hands stop shaking. One shows his jacket on the chair beside my door. Another shows a mirror shot with a timestamp that nails the window. Both carry Maya's reactions underneath. He whispers my name and fails to meet my eyes. She studies the floor and presses 2 fingers to her wrist. I look at the doorway and then back at them. The space between us turns into a blade. Someone whispers from the crowd and then bites it off. I lift my palm for quiet and the room obeys. Who planned the timing? My question lands like a stone in shallow water. Nobody, he answers too fast and stares at the table. I tilt the screen and read one more line. Cake at 8, bedroom at 7:45, lock sticks. The guests recoil like a wave hitting a wall. He sways and grips the edge to stay upright. She closes her eyes and swallows hard. I wait until both of them open. Get out, I point toward the front and hold steady. You too. I gesture at him next and keep breathing. Neither moves and the seconds stretch. Keys already sit on the tray from earlier. I push them closer with a fingertip and do not blink. He looks at my face and finds zero softness. She checks the doorway like a trapped animal. He takes a step and stops when I lift the phone. One more thing. My voice drops and the room chills. Who else knew you'd be upstairs? Silence spreads and then tears under its own weight. He glances at the discarded jacket near the chair. She squeezes her hands until the knuckles pale. I raise an eyebrow and wait. My sister asked me to stall you. His voice scrapes like gravel under tires. A few heads turn toward me and then away. I feel heat rise, but I hold position. Why? Only that word and nothing extra. He shakes his head and looks at the floor again. She answers instead with a thin whisper. She wanted time to talk to him. A friend curses under their breath and covers their mouth. I taste copper and force my jaw to unlock. About what? The question burns holes through the table. Money. She folds in on herself and blinks fast. He straightens like he might fight this angle. I open a different thread and there it is. Bank app screenshots with a promise. The number makes the crowd suck in air. T is not small and it is not a gift. He stiffens and tries to deny with a shrug. I scroll and hit a voice memo. I tap play and let their whispers fill the space. She won't notice if we keep it quiet. Just until next week. Backstairs, same plan. My hands stay steady while my chest climbs. He lunges again and my cousin plants him with a palm. No more. I point to the open door and hold his gaze. The part of me that still wavered finally shuts. She moves first and keeps her head low. He follows 2 steps behind and does not look back. Guests open a path and keep their eyes down. I track them until the door snaps. The room breathes, but nobody speaks. I pocket the phone and lock the evidence inside my chest. My fingers brush the other secret still waiting, the one that changes every next decision. I steady myself with one breath that fills to the edge. The crowd watches and waits for instructions like a classroom. Party S over. The words taste like iron and relief. I need family to stay. People peel away in small clusters and whisper apologies. Doors close and tires crunch outside like a slow retreat. My cousin stays planted near the counter. I nod once and he nods back. I text Maya with a single line and no name. Come now. The dots appear immediately like she expected this. My pulse slows because I prefer open war to ambush. I stand where she will see me first. When she walks in, I will not waste syllables. I will set the phone on the table and press play. I will ask one question and wait, then I will decide whether to burn the rest now or later. The door opens before the second knock lands. Maya steps in fast and scans the room. Her chin lifts when she spots me. I slide the phone onto the table between us. Why now? She sets her purse down with care. My cousin shifts closer and plants his feet. I unlock the screen with a quick swipe. Her gaze sharpens like a blade under cloth. You texted me from her phone. She points and breathes through her nose. I nod once and tap the message thread. The last 3 lines glow. She reads and doesn't move. Play it. Her fingers drum against the table. I hit the memo and let the whisper roll. She watches my face instead of the waveform. That tells me more than the sound. When the clip ends, she reaches for water and fails. Her throat works and she folds her arms. What do you want? No apology, no spin, just a line in the sand. Names, amounts, how long? I count on my fingers so the room follows. She glances at the door that already closed. Fine, she says and pulls her phone free with a rough motion. Notifications flood the screen and then vanish. She opens the banking app and enters the code. Numbers appear in tight columns. She turns the display toward me like a dare. I note each transfer and the recurring label. Rent due here, card there, one more marked emergency fund. The totals stack until my jaw aches. From him or from us, I keep my tone steady and low. Both, she answers and bites her lip hard. He wired, I requested, I told him not to tell you. Why me? I grip the back of a chair and hold on. She tilts her head like it hurts. Because you would stop me. Honesty drops in the center like a brick. Stop you from what? The room narrows to her shoulders and my hands. She glances at my cousin and then back. A debt, not drugs, not gambling, someone who does not wait. Who? I want the name and nothing else. She swallows and shakes her head once. You don't want that story here. My cousin's stare warns her to choose words. I click to photos and scroll without a word. Receipts bloom. A contract with a first page only. A single signature that isn't hers. The name on the line puts ice in my chest. He used my identity for collateral and she let it happen. She watches my face for the break and doesn't get it. Undo it, I say, and tap the signature. Now. She laughs once and it comes out cracked. I tried. She pulls up a text thread with a blocked number. They want the full balance tomorrow. The clock on the phone ticks too loud. Where did you send him tonight? I keep my questions clean and narrow. She rubs her temple and exhales slowly. Upstairs, 15 minutes. I needed a call without you near. You used my home as cover. My voice drops until it scrapes. She nods and looks at the floor. I panicked. The word lands small and ugly. I press record and lay the phone between us. Say it again. She closes her eyes and speaks into the mic. I asked him to distract you. I signed your name on the loan. My cousin mutters a prayer and goes silent. I stop the recording and save it twice. Proof has weight. Proof holds when people fold. Maya's shoulders slump and something in me hardens. She reaches out and I step back. I'll fix it, she says, softer now. You won't, I answer, and her hand drops. Then tell me what to do. She wipes her face with her sleeve. The room observes and does not intervene. I decide the order and keep it short. Text the lender, meet at noon tomorrow, public place. She types and shows me the draft for confirmation. I edit one line and add my lawyer's name. She sends and waits for a response that doesn't come. You're not coming to my room tonight. I point toward the hallway with finality. You're not calling him either. She nods because the options have narrowed. Her phone buzzes and we both flinch. Message received, location and time attached. Noon. She turns the screen so I can read it. My cousin takes a photo of the confirmation for safety. Leave your keys. I push the tray forward until it taps her wrist. She hesitates and then drops them without argument. The small sound echoes inside my chest. We're not done. I keep her eyes on mine. She nods like a student who finally understands the assignment. I will be there, she whispers. I do not answer and she walks toward the exit. The door shuts and the house seems larger. I rest my palms on the table to steady the shake. My cousin stands beside me without speaking. Air moves again, but it feels sharp. I gather the remaining guests and keep it brief. Thank you for coming. I need clear space. People nod and head out quietly. A few hug me and step away fast. When the last car leaves, I lock the front. The silence leaves room for the next truth. I reach into my pocket and touch the test. It warms my hand like a warning and a promise. He texts twice and then calls. I watch the screen flash and fade. No reply, not tonight. Tonight I build the wall brick by brick. I move through the rooms and pick up what matters, not objects, just papers that can trap me later. I stack them on the table and breathe through a wave that rolls low. I draft a list for morning tasks with tight lines. Bank calls, lock change, lawyer meeting, doctor confirmation. Each word steadies the ground under my feet. My cousin pours water and slides it across. Sleep a little, he says, voice rough. I nod but do not rise. My mind maps tomorrow and then the day after. The phone lights again with a final name. Not him, not Maya. A family contact who never texts past 9. I open it and read a single sentence that tilts everything. Your mom is with him. The message ends there and my chest locks. I stare at the words until they cut. A new front just opened and it starts tonight. I call back before the text fades. The line picks up on the second buzz, breath on the other end and a quick whisper. There at the motel by the freeway. I grab my keys and a jacket and head out. My cousin moves to block me and I shake my head. I need eyes on this now. He studies my face and falls in beside me. We drive without music and count intersections. My chest feels caged, but my hands stay steady. I rehearse 3 questions and cut everything extra. The rest can burn tomorrow. The lot sits half empty and quiet. His car glints near the ice machine. A silhouette smokes by the stairs and turns away. My throat tightens, but I keep walking. He steps out first with a practiced grin. We should talk alone. He reaches toward me and stops midway. I keep distance and scan the landing behind him. She appears at the rail with my scarf in hand. I asked him to meet me here, Her mouth is a firm line and her eyes don't flinch. The scarf dangled like a flag over the edge. Why are you with him? The words come flat and heavy. She doesn't answer immediately, and that tells enough. He shifts his weight and glances at her for courage. We're sorting the money issue. She smooths the scarf and lifts her chin. He came clean and asked for help. My cousin exhales like a curse under his breath. Help from who? I look at her hands, then his face. She lowers the scarf and chooses her cadence. From me until you cool down. The phrase hits like gravel. You knew before tonight. It lands as a statement because doubt is dead. Her silence confirms it, and so does the modern motel key on her wrist. He rubs his temple and avoids my eyes. You picked this place. My cousin scans the lot and the balcony. Away from family. He leans on the hood and watches me, ready to move. I taste rust behind my teeth. He asked for a place to sleep. She folds the scarf and tucks it away. I would do that for anyone in crisis. The word crisis makes something hard ignite in my gut. You saw the audio. I raise my cell and pull up the clip. She stares as the whisper spills through the speaker. Her jaw tightens, but her gaze holds steady. He reaches for the phone and I step left. My cousin shifts right and the space locks tight. He lowers his hand and tries a different tactic. I panicked. I made mistakes. I want to fix them. You put my name on a loan. I keep my tone even and cold. He flinches because there is nowhere to hide. My mother looks at him like he can still be saved. We can restructure. She pulls a folder from her bag. He brought paperwork to transfer responsibility. She opens to a signature line and places a pen on it. Whose responsibility? I stare at the line and wait. He clears his throat and tries for sincerity. Mine going forward, yours for the past balance. The scheme is neat and poisonous. No, I swing the folder shut and slide it back. That ends tonight. My cousin nods once and looks ready to take the folder apart. My mother grips the edge to keep it from leaving. You're overreacting. She squares her shoulders and locks her jaw. Couples survive worse if they stay focused. She looks at my ring finger and then at my face. It is over. I set the keys on the hood between us. You can give him a ride or walk him home. I raise my cell and display the recording icon. We are done negotiating. He softens his voice and steps closer. Please hear me. My cousin lifts a hand and he freezes. My mother's eyes flicker and catch the light. She still thinks she can steer this. Tomorrow at noon I meet the lender. I state it clean so nobody misquotes me. You are not invited. I point at him and then at her. Neither of you. She reels like I slapped her in public. I'm family. The word family sounds brittle and strange. I feel something old crack and fall away inside my chest. I will always be your mother. She reaches for my cheek and stops. I take one step back and hold her gaze, then act like it. Stand with me or stand aside. He tries one last maneuver and leans in. Let me drive you home. I turn away and toss the spare key to my cousin. Change tomorrow. He pockets it without a word. My mother lowers her hand and looks smaller. Where are you staying? Concern sneaks through the hard lines. It scrapes me and almost sways me. Almost. At home with the doors locked. I keep it simple so it sticks. If you show up unannounced, the camera calls the police. I let that hang in the cool air between us. Are you? She glances at my midsection and swallows. Time slows for half a beat and then resets. I won't give her that tonight. Not here. Not as leverage. I will handle my body and my future. The words steady me like a beam. You handle your choices. I turn and start walking because movement is power. He calls my name and then lets it die. My mother doesn't follow and that hurts less than expected. Behind me, the motel door closes with a dry click. It rings longer than it should. We drive back with the windows cracked. My cousin keeps checking mirrors like we're being tailed. I replay the last 10 minutes until only facts remain. The rest falls away like smoke. At the house, I change the alarm code. Then I forward every shady message to my lawyer. Paper first, feelings later. The order keeps me upright. I stand in the kitchen and dial one number. Doctor on call picks up after 3 rings. I need appointment confirmation and resources for stress in early pregnancy. My voice steadies on the last word. Come in tomorrow morning, calm and clinical through the speaker. We'll run labs and connect you to support. I thank her and end the call with a shaking exhale. I text Maya a final instruction for noon. Bring all documents, no surprises. She replies with a single word, understood. I don't trust it and I don't need to yet. I place my phone on the counter and rub my eyes. The house hum. Like a machine cooling down. I finally feel the day land in my bones. Then the doorbell chimes and every muscle locks. Through the peephole stands a man in a suit. Not him, not family, businesslike and patient. He holds an envelope against his chest like a shield. Open up, please. His voice is careful and clipped. Courier with papers requiring signature. My cousin appears behind me and raises an eyebrow. I crack the door on the chain and extend a hand. He slides the envelope through and steps back. The seal tears with a dull rip. A single clause jumps out and steals my breath. The lender accepted the noon meeting but moved the location. New address, new conditions, bring both parties. The line hums with a threat I can't ignore. I close the door and press my back to it. My cousin waits for me to choose a path. I look down at the page and then at the clock. Noon just became an ambush we cannot dodge. I text the number on the letter install, confirming attendance. I add a condition about recording every step. A curt reply arrives with the new lobby name. I screenshot and forward it to my lawyer. I call him next and keep it clipped. Ambush at noon, they want all of us. He grunts once and names the play, meet at the bank across the street first. I ping my cousin with the plan 10 minutes early. Eyes open, no hero moves unless asked. He replies with a thumbs up and a photo of the entrance. I message Maya last and strip it to bone. Bring contracts and phone, do not speak to them alone. She answers with a single dot and nothing else. I set my jaw and pocket the device. Morning lands early and hard, but I move. Doctor first to secure paperwork I need. Pressure normal, heartbeat strong. I keep the printout in a sealed folder like armor. At the bank, the lawyer waits with a calm stare. He checks the clause and circles 2 traps. No signatures, request validation and identity review. He taps the counterfeit line with his pen. Across the street, the lender's building watches, security at the door and a receptionist with a list. I send one more group text before crossing. Record on, stay close. They reach the sidewalk together and my stomach tightens. He walks a half step behind my mother. Maya arrives from the other direction clutching a folder. My cousin lines up beside me like a wall. Inside, we pass inspection and step into the meeting room. The lender sits already with 2 associates. He smiles without warmth and gestures to the chairs. I remain standing and place the folder on the table. Before we begin, I slide the recorder into view. I'm documenting for accuracy. No one objects because they want the show. The device blinks and turns the air electric. He opens with a contract and a smooth pitch. Consolidate, reduce risk, simple steps. My lawyer interrupts with 3 questions. Source, authentication, original authorizations. The lender flips to the signature page like it's a trick. I don't look at the ink, I look at his hands. No tremor, no rush, a man used to cornered people. Why the location change? I lean forward and hold his gaze. Safety. He smiles again with nothing behind it. We prefer neutral ground for sensitive matters. Neutral includes police. My lawyer sets a card on the table. We alerted the financial crimes unit to a suspected forgery. The word forgery punches every heartbeat in the room. He doesn't blink, he asks for a recess to consult his team. I nod and step back so the recorder gets it. The associates huddle and whisper into a phone. My mother grabs my elbow and leans close. Please end this quietly. Her grip bites and I peel her hand away. Quiet is what made this possible. She recoils like heat. He tries soft eyes on me and almost pulls it off. I deserve a second chance. I tilt my head and drop one line. You planned upstairs at 7:45. His mouth closes and stays closed. The lender returns with a new offer. We waive penalties if she pays today. He points to me like I queued for charity. The lawyer laughs once and lays down the copy of the law. Present the notarized originals. He taps the statute number with a fingertip. Or we file today and seize your assets for attempted fraud. The room temperature finally drops. The receptionist appears at the door with a visitor pass. Detective waiting in the lobby. Her voice slips and then steadies. The lender's jaw tightens, and that's our first real flinch. Bring him in, I say it clearly so the recorder hears. A plainclothes officer steps inside with a notebook. He nods at me and flips to a fresh page. Who obtained the personal data? The question lands like a clean cut. Eyes shift. My mother looks at the floor. Maya opens her folder with shaking hands and pushes papers across. Here are messages and bank transfers. She breathes shallow but holds. They prove coordination and timeline. The detective starts copying badge numbers and dates. My mother whispers my name and tries one last appeal. He M. A damn mistake, the detective writes without pausing. Mistake or scheme. His pen clicks again and the lender finally speaks. Legal will cooperate. He gathers the contracts with stiff fingers. We acted on documents provided by a client. He shoots a look at my fiance that could cut glass. The detective asks for phones and we comply. He bags them and hands out receipts. My lawyer adds one more demand. Freeze any active withdrawals on accounts linked to her identity. It takes 10 minutes to process and verify, 10 minutes where nobody breathes right. When it ends, the detective closes his notebook. Do not contact her again unless through counsel. We step into the hallway and the silence roars. He follows 2 paces and reaches toward me. My cousin interposes a shoulder and the hallway narrows. The gesture says everything we never said. My mother stops a foot away and lifts her palms. I will repay my part. Her voice trembles for the first time. I nod once and keep my face clean. Do it in writing. I hand her the lawyer's card. No more surprises. She tucks it into her bag and nods twice. We both know the ground just changed shape. Maya lingers and won't meet my eyes. I'll testify if needed. She wipes her face with the back of her hand. I'm sorry doesn't fix it. I answer with a clipped nod and she understands. He tries to speak in the doorway and fails. Words collapse into air because there are none left. He finally settles on a half step toward me. I don't move and he freezes. I'm pregnant. I say it to the space between us, not to him. The word lands like a bell and keeps ringing. He looks stunned for a breath and then reaches. I lift my palm and stop him cold. You will not be part of this. Each syllable lands like a small hammer. I will protect this child and myself. You will protect your lawyer. He looks at my mother for backup and finds none. She studies the floor like it holds answers. My cousin guides me toward the exit with a steady hand. We do not look back because forward is the only direction left. Outside, the sky feels bigger and cleaner. The lawyer shakes my hand and promises next steps. Change accounts today, new locks by evening. He lists tasks and I feel my feet under me again. At home, I set the recorder on the table. I copy files to 2 drives and label them clearly. The list from last night gets fresh ink. Each line turns panic into structure. I text the doctor one final note. Update, crisis stabilized, keep appointment. The reply arrives with encouragement and resources. I let the screen dim and draw one slow breath. He knocks once at dusk and then calls my name. I don't answer and the camera logs it. My cousin stays visible behind me and rests his hand on the counter. The night closes around the house like a guard. I hold the test in my fist and feel the edge. It is both anchor and alarm. It keeps me honest when old habits whisper. I place it back in the drawer and close it with care. Tomorrow I start the paperwork to untangle everything. New accounts, new passwords, new locks. If they try doors again, the doors will stand. The phone buzzes with a final message from an unknown number. Consider this resolved if you stop pushing. I forward it to the detective with one line. Add to case, continuing pressure. I turn off the kitchen light and listen to the quiet. The house breathes and I breathe with it. I am not the person I was yesterday. I'm the one who opened the door and refused to break.